Bless you.
I didn't realize this.
It was probably just out from before. Ready?
It was from the 5th to the 10th.
Okay.
It was in the Broadway series. Oh.
Good afternoon. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the school board meeting this Tuesday, December 12th, 2017. If you wish to speak during the hearing of citizens, please pick up a card in the back of the chambers, print your name clearly and topic clearly, and return the card to your board assistant, Kathy Tompkins. At this time, at the appropriate time, I will call you up to speak. First, we'll have the flag salute under the direction of Senior Chief William Rennie. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Post. Arch.
Thank you, Northport High JRTC. Before we move forward, I wanted to make a quick add on the order of business of the day in light of conversations we had at our workshop at the end of new business. Any action items the board will be taking will be at the end of new business. There'll be a brief pause to change over for Mr. Lempe to preside over those items, and just wanted to make sure that the board was aware of such, unless there's any objection. Moving on to our student representative, Ryan Ferrasi. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, hi.
Welcome, and tell us a little bit about you and which school you're from.
Yeah, I'm a senior at Suncoast Polytechnical High School, and I'm enrolled there through their dual enrollment with SCF and also STC.
Great.
So I'm in the filmmaking program over there at STC as well.
Wonderful. So that was actually just on ABC 7 last night about our studio there. So do you make your way over at the Channel Studios?
Yeah, sometimes we go over and help out if you guys ever need any PAs and grips and stuff to help with camera, and just, anything you guys need, we try and help.
Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us.
No problem.
Next up is special presentations. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Sarasota County Star Leadership Training Program. And I would like to welcome Patricia McGraw, Coordinator for Boys and Girls Club of Sarasota County Star Leadership Program, and the STAR students in the audience today. STAR stands for Students Taking Active Roles, which is a training program created to encourage youth to take active roles in their community. I would also like to invite any available board members to stay after the meeting to meet with the students for a question and answer. Thank you for joining us. We have the superintendent's report. Dr. Bowden?
So I want to start with just recognizing the outstanding outstanding talent of our students in this district, and I want to tell it through kind of the story of my weekend. On Friday night, I had the opportunity to see Riverview High School's chorus in their Renaissance Fest, and I will tell you, you could not have gathered a group of professional musicians and actors and pulled off a production like that. I was absolutely amazed just the way the students moved on and off of their risers. I mean, sometimes we have a hard time getting students to get to class in 5-6 minutes. I mean, the choir was separating in the middle and people were coming up and different groups were taking the stage, and it was all seamless. But the voice talent of our students at Riverview High School was just amazing. So if you weren't in the season yet, you certainly left there in the season, and certainly reaffirms our belief that we have some incredibly talented students in this school district. And then I had the opportunity to spend my Saturday afternoon at Camping World Stadium over in Orlando and see student performance of a completely different type as the Venice High School football team won a state championship. Now, somehow at the end of that, each one of those athletes was presented a medal by the Florida High School Athletic Association, and somehow I was presented with a medal. And when I attempted to return it, they said, well, please make sure it has an opportunity to be shown at the landings and distributed with the board. So I never put this around my neck because I didn't do the hard work that is required to hang this around your neck. But I do want to pass it down the line so that each one of you get to see kind of the fruits of their labor. I know this is probably the most prized possession of about 50 or 60 young men down in Venice right now, and so the ability for you to have it momentarily is something I wanted to share with you. I also wanted to recognize that at the joint conference between the Florida School Board Association and FADS, the Florida Association of District School Superintendents, this board was formally recognized for completing master board training. And so I have pins for 2 of our members, and then I have the plaque itself, which I seem to accumulate the awards. I don't know why they make their way. But I want to present the pins to Bridget Ziegler and Eric Robinson, and then I wish to present the plaque to our board chair.
Woohoo.
I probably could get fancy and take it
Take the plastic out?
Yeah.
She can't take it home though, right?
Thank you very much.
Your pen.
Thank you, thank you. Sure, down here, up here?
Right here around the seal.
Let's move this over, hold on.
Why don't you get between us, because we're wearing conflicting red. No.
Conflicting reds. Okay.
There, Todd. There we go.
And
Can you
if
guys
I'm
get
cut out of the
closer?
picture, that's okay.
Yes. Okay, close, close,
Move over.
close.
All right, that looks pretty good.
Very good, nicely done, thank you. Can we shift? Sure. We're not as seamless as the students you just spoke about.
That's right. That's right. And I would be remiss before I yield the floor. This is our last meeting before the winter break. At my house, we say Merry Christmas, but however you choose to celebrate the holidays, may it be Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah and Happy New Year. I just wanted to extend warm wishes to everyone here on the dais and to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bowden. I will add, just since we brought this up, I was able to join many of the members of the district at the at Camping World Stadium. It was very chilly, but very exciting. So it was a fun family event, and we're very, very proud. Did you, Mrs. Zucker?
You don't have your.
Oh, excuse me. Pardon me.
I know.
Mrs. Brown.
Yes, I had a very busy weekend and wasn't able to do either of those things. But I'm glad we did get our master board training in. And let me tell you, when I woke up Sunday morning and this was in the paper, you know, that we had the state champions, that was better than all the sale papers that were in there that weekend. And everyone knows how much I like the sale papers. But this is what caught my eye and brought my attention on Sunday is that, you know, we've got the state football champions in our district. That's wonderful. Congratulations, Venice.
Wonderful. And Mrs. Zucker.
Well, congratulations, Venice, and to follow up on what the superintendent said, I celebrate both. I'm very fortunate, so happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. In my house, we have presents from the 12th of December all the way through December 25th, and my children have loved growing up with with those traditions. So Merry Christmas to you all and Happy Holidays.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mrs. Goodwin.
Well, I just want to reiterate, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, and so forth, whatever you choose and however you celebrate. We're all in the market for a celebration, and good luck to all of our students that are here and outside of our immediate area as they are taking midterm exams and getting ready for being finished with that, so that when they go away at holiday time, they will be done and will be starting fresh after the new year. And I think that's something that all of you have told me is an important thing, not having that exam hanging over your head. There's been some wonderful music programs presented. Pineview had their orchestra concert last Thursday night, and Riverview has a Christmas concert this coming Thursday night that I would encourage you all to attend. There's just been some wonderful things going on, but I'm personally so excited about Venice winning the football championship. First of all, because I love football, and anybody that knows me knows that. But secondly, I really feel close to John Peacock and what he has done at Venice. And this is a story of sheer grit. These kids have been together, some of them all 4 years. They're not the biggest. They may not be the fastest kids that ever played football, but they have certainly beaten, with the exception of IMG, the best, including St. Thomas Aquinas, which for me was a big personal story that I loved, but they really showed what grit and determination and hard work and teamwork have done. So I just want to say to all of them, congratulations. This is a moment and a time to be savored and enjoyed, and to all of you, very happy holidays.
Thank you. And one more item I wanted to add. Who did we play?
Well, it certainly should go with a little bit of notice that it was a team out of St. Johns County, and we have a little rivalry that develops both academically and athletically with St. Johns County, but it was Bartram Trail High School in St. Johns County.
Very good. So that is a precursor to being #1 in the state from the academic component is what I wanted to lay that groundwork for. So thank you very much. Next up is hearing of citizens. I do not see that we have any cards. Is that confirmed? Okay, great. Then we will move on to the additions and corrections to the agenda. Superintendent, do we have any?
There are no additions or corrections.
Move approval of the agenda.
Consent.
The consent
Second.
agenda.
I have a motion and a second. Can you please vote on approving of consent agenda? And the consent agenda passes unanimously. Next item is new business, item number 26. Do I have a motion?
I move for approval of the new job description for adult and community enrichment, which is called ACE Program Manager, Suncoast Technical College, as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Will you all vote, please, approval of the new job description of adult and community enrichment? Dr. Bowden, you wanted to say something before the votes come in. I apologize.
Yes, many times when we revise job descriptions, it's because we are transitioning, and that is the case with adult and community enrichment. And I just wanted to take an opportunity to celebrate the leadership of Laura Trubick, who has led the adult and community enrichment program through a very difficult transition for when they moved off of Shade Avenue and were consolidated with what was then SCTI. At that point, we saw the staff at ACE cut in half, and we've seen it did grow back over the years, and so her leadership has been very steadying over our ACE program. She is recognized in this state as a leader. Folks that are interested in enrichment programs come and visit with Laura on a regular basis, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to celebrate her leadership and welcome her, wish her well in her retirement.
Wonderful, thank you, and I apologize for not requesting any comments. Mrs. Goodwin.
Laura has done an exceptional job, and I, being an ACE student myself, can say that, you know, the courses there are very, very beneficial. But last summer I went over and they celebrated bringing in $1 million in revenue, and we had a big celebration, and the person that brought that over, because they actually raised money for people who, like me, take those courses. So it's not a small consideration that they support their own program and pay for their own program. And she has done an exemplary job, and she's going off on a new life with a new husband and so forth, and I wish her all the very best.
Thank you. So the vote is unanimous that new job description for Adult and Community Enrichment Program Manager, Suncoast Technical College, has been approved. Moving on to item number 27, do I have a motion?
Move approval of the revisions to Policy 7.71, Selection Policy for Professional Construction-Related Services for Advertisement as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Are there any comments? Seeing none, please vote. And the motion passes 5-0 to the revisions to Policy 7.71, Selection Policy for Professional Construction-Related Services for Advertisement as presented. That is the end of our agenda for new business as released. Are there any comments or discussion before moving forward? Mr. Robinson?
I wanted to bring something up for new business. Is that this time or later?
Now, that's why earlier I just mentioned if it related to the topic that was on.
It's related to a topic that was on the workshop, but not related to the initial topic at the workshop.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So, but it has nothing to do with.
Is it a motion?
I'm sorry?
Is it a motion?
Yes, it's a motion.
Oh,
Oh,
that was comments. Okay,
Is that okay, or would you like me to wait till later?
go ahead. I didn't know if it was comments or okay. Go ahead.
Oh, it was under new business. We had talked about Sky Academy this morning, and I wanted to make a motion to direct Dr. Bowden to enter into negotiation with Sky Academy to make sure that the charter contract is amended to reflect referendum funding based upon enrollment going back to July 1st of 2017.
I will second that, but I don't think we needed a motion on that. I think we just gave Dr. Bowden.
I wanted to put it in a form of a motion. You could vote against it if you'd like.
No, I don't want to vote against it.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments?
Madam Chair, you should give the public the opportunity to comment if anybody wants to do that.
Is anyone in the public interested in speaking on the motion before us, which you need to write it down for me so I can repeat it, as it relates to?
Directing Dr. Bowden to enter into negotiation with Sky Academy of Inglewood to change their charter to provide for referendum funding based upon enrollment starting on July 1st, 2017.
Okay. Hearing no public comment, any additional comments by the board? Seeing none, can we have a voice vote? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. The chair votes aye, and this passes unanimously. Thank you very much. We'll take a brief minute pause and discuss the items that we addressed at the workshop. So bear with me 1 second. Thank you. So again, just reiterating the discussion that was made at the beginning of our workshop today, if there were two items that potentially would require some board action and of which Dr. Bowden has recused himself. So if there was, do I have any motions from?
I'll make one.
Board?
I would authorize the board to work with the chair and Mr. Limpy to hire an investigator for the district. With respect to the not that one. With respect to the charge, to the issue brought before us, the complaint filed.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Now, on clarification, this has to do with the complaint investigation. Did you say that it was the chair, Mr. Limpy, or was it the chair, Mr. Limpy, and Mr. Hardy?
Sorry, it should have been Mr. Hardy. The chair, Mr. Limpy, and then Mr. Hardy.
May I have the maker of the motion repeat the motion for clarification?
I would vote that we authorize the board chair to work with Mr. Limpy and Attorney Hardy to discuss to hire a third party to investigate a complaint filed.
Okay. Mr. Robinson?
I have a point of clarification. I just want to make sure I understand it because you said two different things, and I like the second one more, so I just want to make sure.
That's why I...
Okay, the second one, because the second one said the chair and Mr. Limpy and Art Hardy are to be directed.
First one said-
That's what you said? I just want to make sure. Okay, then I'm fine with that.
But the words matter, so again, we need to
Yes,
clarify.
words do matter. I just want to make sure the authority is coming through the board. That's why I just wanted to make sure. So thank you.
It's okay.
And do we have a second for that?
Oh, I seconded.
Oh, Jane seconded.
Oh, Jane seconded it. I thirded then.
Okay. So the motion is authorize the board chair to work with Mr. Limpy and board attorney Art Hardy to hire an outside investigator to address a complaint.
To investigate the current complaint.
Just want to make sure it's exactly right. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Are there any comments? Before we vote, since this was not on the agenda, we need to open it up to public comments. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on this issue? Seeing none, this will be a voice vote. Can all those in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye, and the chair votes aye, and it passes unanimously. An additional item, whether there be, do we have a motion as it related to the second topic that was discussed at our workshop, based on a request from the superintendent?
I move that we hire an outside counsel for the superintendent.
I have a motion.
Second.
Clarification?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Again, I don't think the board wants to hire. I think the board wants to pay for. So could we ask the maker of the motion, or would she stand for an amendment to the motion that that we pay the fee, not hire?
I second that amended motion.
Sure.
So if the maker of the motion could restate it as amended, so for clarification.
Okay. I would move that we, what did you say, Shirley? Hire counsel?
We specify a separate legal counsel be chosen or to represent the superintendent, be engaged.
May I try to help?
Yes.
And Mr. Hardy, go
Just
ahead.
asking us to fund an attorney.
I would suggest that the motion be that the board reimburse the superintendent for his hiring of separate counsel within the context of the investigation. It's not for everything, but within the context of the investigation.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on this comment? Are there any members of the board who would like to speak on this topic? Mr. Robinson.
I mean, this one gives me great grief. I mean, I understand why the superintendent wants to have an attorney, and if I was him, I would want one too. And I guess it is. I'm going to give him. I'm going to vote for it, not for the same reason that the contract language says. I'm going to vote for it because I think that it's rising out of the duties of his being a superintendent. But I don't believe that it follows any of those chains of things listed in his contract. But I would hope that Dr. Bowden would look. Ms. Zucker mentioned it earlier that it's up to him whether to allow one to be hired for Dr. Shelley, and I hope that, although he's not here, I'm sure he's watching, hopefully that he will look favorably of allowing Rachel Shelley to have the same opportunity that the board's going to allow for him. But that's, again, like Ms. Zucker said, that is entirely within his discretion.
Are there any other comments? Mrs. Brown?
I believe that since we've taken the steps, unusual steps in this situation, that we have a private and a separate investigator from the district look into this, that we also need to have the, as per the contract, pay the fee for the attorney. Because if we're saying it's involving the superintendent, it's involving the superintendent.
Thank you. One, I wanted to make sure we have very clear understanding of what the motion was, and so authorize reimbursement to Dr. Bowden for outside legal counsel relating to the current investigation. Is that accurate? And it's reimbursement. I have struggled with this and gone back to the contract language, and I believe that it's open to interpretation, and it's, as you can tell, I think the most important aspect of all of this is that it be done in a manner that is done with integrity, without bias. I certainly want to make sure that members of our staff know that we take any kind of complaints seriously and that we have processes in place to follow. This is a perfect example that we didn't currently have processes in place to respond accordingly. And this item and request is challenging to me because right now I think it may be premature to do so. We don't know the details and we don't discuss ongoing investigations. So my personal opinion is that it is premature to authorize this reimbursement, so I will not be voting for that at this current time. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Please do a roll call.
Eric Robinson, aye.
Jane Goodwin, aye.
Caroline Zucker, aye.
And Bridget Ziegler votes no. So I have 4 ayes and 1 nay. The motion passes. That concludes our new business. Is there any items that need to be discussed for comments? Very good. We are adjourned. And again, I remind board members if they'd like to stay and stick around and speak with members of the STAR Leadership Academy, please do so. Thank you.